Hello children, we saw in our last class force and pressure lesson. In that force we saw what is a force. Force depends upon the pull and push of actions. Okay, so and it is due to the interaction between the two objects also we saw in our last class. And in this class let us see about types of forces. What are the types of forces? Okay. So you all know in your lower classes what is the types of forces. We can say that is if forces come to in contact or without contact. Based on that we can say two types of forces. One is contact force and another one is non-contact force. Contact force and non-contact force. Okay, so these are the two types of forces. Okay, so contact force. So we can say what is mean by contact force? The force it should be coming into a contact with any other object. Okay, so that we can say contact forces. We saw that is interaction between two objects. So two objects are contact each other means we can say it is contact force. Okay, for example, so we are cycling or we are lifting an object while our hand and to the object both are interacting with each other. We are lifting or we are opening the door. There also we are doing a force. We are giving a force to the door. There also two objects. What are the two objects? There it is interacting our hand and the door. So door is an object. Here the two objects are interact each other. So here there is a contact between the hand and the door. So we can say this is a contact force. Okay. So for that here we are opening the door. We are using a force to giving a force to the door to open. So here muscular force, that we can say it as muscular force. Muscular force. So while giving an example for muscular force, we are lifting our school bags to come to the school. Is it right now? So while we are lifting a force, here we are giving a force to the bag while lifting. So that is also a muscular force. And we are taking any objects, that we can say it is a muscular force. Okay. Then another one is contact force, that is comes under frictional force. It also comes under the muscular force. Frictional force. So what is the example for frictional force? You all know that is kicking a ball. Okay, ball is coming contact to the ground, or while throwing a ball, that ball is coming into the contact. While throwing a ball is coming contact to the hand. After throwing the ball, that ball is coming contact to the ground. So here also the that is a contact force. So frictional force means the ball is coming contact to the ground. It should be stopped. Ball should be stopped. While moving a ball, if the ball comes rest at some other point. So there is a contact force. Okay. So we can say the two types of contact forces are muscular force and frictional force. Muscular force and frictional force. Okay. Types of forces: contact force and non-contact force. So by contact force we can see there is two types of contact forces. One is muscular force and another one is frictional force. You are clear about this topic now? So while muscular force we are lifting an object, there we are doing a muscular force. Okay. So while lifting the dumbbells for doing exercises, that also comes under the muscular force. And then frictional force. The frictional force, the object is coming to contact with the ground and the object comes to rest. So that we can say it as a frictional force. While moving a car, the car we are braking the car means we are doing the car is moving. While moving the car should be at rest, coming to the rest. So while coming to the rest, there is a frictional force. So Okay. Now non-contact force. The objects are not interact with the other objects. Okay. So interaction with two objects means that we can say contact forces. If non-contact force means that objects doesn't touch, doesn't interact with other objects, that we can say non-contact force. Okay. So now let us see what are the types of non-contact forces. The first type of non-contact force, okay, that is magnetic force. First type of non-contact forces, magnetic force. Okay, so the magnets doesn't touch each other. Okay, so while like poles repels each other, it doesn't touch anywhere. Okay, so magnetic force or non-contact force. So two magnetic bodies attract each other means that two bodies are having different poles on the same side. So different poles are attracts each other. Okay, so the same poles are repels each other. So both are non-contact forces. It doesn't contact with any other object. Okay, so that is magnetic force. Then second type of non-contact forces, electrostatic force. Electrostatic force. Electrostatic force. Electrostatic force. So here we know what is meant by electrostatic force. We are using electricity in our day-to-day life. Okay. So electrostatic force. Here I'll give one example. Okay. We are all using batteries. Okay. Torch lights. So in that we are using cells. That cells we are using one by one. Okay. So that cells are, we are taking one as positive and one as negative. Okay, like this we are taking the cells. Okay, so this part is positive and this part is negative. Okay, so one by one we are using the cells. Means another one we are taking a cell like this. Okay, so here it is a positive charge and here it is a negative charge. Okay, so this should be connected by one. So this negative charge attracts the positive charge of the another cell. So it should be connected each other. Okay, here it is a force acting on these two cells. Okay, but we are taking like this means, see here also it is positive and here it is a negative. So we are taking like this, the opposite. Same charges. This is also negative charge and this is also negative charge means these two are repels. Okay, while like this we are putting cells means that torch should not glow. Okay, why? Because these two charges are not attracts. These two charges are not attracts. It is repels. So we can't charge the torch light. Okay, so like this we are putting the cells means the torch light should be charged and we are getting the glowing of bulb. So the opposite charges, it is a negative charge and it is a positive charge. So opposite charges attracts and gives the glowing of bulb. And same charges, negative and negative charge, are we are taking positive and positive charge also, it repels and does a glow of the bulb. Okay, so for this we are taking like this. Okay, so that is electrostatic force also a non-contact forces. Electrostatic force also a non-contact force. Okay, then we move on to the another type of non-contact force. Okay, you all know what is the another type of non-contact force? Gravitational force. Okay, gravitational force. Okay, so gravitational force. So you all know all the objects are attracted by the ground. Okay, by the earth. Okay, without any interaction. So this is also comes under non-contact force. Okay, so while we are throwing or we are leaving any object on the upper floor top of the building means that stone are absorbing by the earth. It is, that is, it should be attracts by the earth, that it is, we can say it is a gravitational force. Okay, so this three forces are comes under the non-contact force. Okay, so what are the types of forces? Contact force and non-contact force. So contact force, that is, we can say examples of contact forces: muscular force and frictional force. What are the two types of contact forces? Muscular force and frictional force. And non-contact force. So what are the types of non-contact forces? Magnetic force, electrostatic force and gravitational force. Now you clear, children? Okay. Then let us see pressure. Okay. So in this lesson we saw force elaborately. As the same, we can see what is a pressure, how the pressure exerts on the objects. Let us see now. Okay. So what is meant by pressure? First see what is a pressure. Okay. So pressure means, that is, we are giving any forces to the object. Okay. That is force to the object. While giving force, the area is important here. Okay. So while we are giving a force, area is less means the force is more. While area is more means force is less. Okay. That we can say by the formula force, pressure equals to force by area. Okay. It acts or depends on the area of the object. Okay. The force acting per unit area, the force acting per unit area of a surface, okay, is called pressure. A force acting per unit area is called a pressure. Okay, so that we can say it as pressure equals to force by area. Okay, see here only we have the definition of pressure. Okay, the force acting on per unit area, the force acting per unit area on the surface of the object is called pressure. Okay, so we are writing based on this formula only. We have the definition of pressure. What is the definition of pressure? See, the force acting per unit area, force acting per unit area on the surface of the object, on the surface of the object is called pressure. Is called pressure. See, the force acting per unit area. See, the force acting per unit area on surface of the object is called pressure. See, now only you should observe the formula first, then only you come to know what is the definition of pressure. See, pressure equals to force by area. See, here only we can easily identify pressure is indirectly proportional to area. Pressure is indirectly proportional to area. Pressure is directly proportional to force, and pressure is indirectly proportional to area. See, the force acting per unit area on the surface of the object is called pressure. Okay, so now we can say how the pressure acts on the object, surface of the object. See, if area is increases, why? Because pressure is indirectly proportional to the area. So area increases, pressure decreases. Okay, and area decreases means pressure increases. See, I'll give one easy example for you for this concept. Okay, see, if area increases, pressure decreases. So area apple to cut and eat. Okay, so while we are taking an apple to cut, we want a knife to cut the apple. Is it right, children? So here we are taking a knife to cut the apple. So the edge of the knife is very sharp, means we can cut the apple very easily. Is it right? We can cut the apple easily. If the edge of the knife is thick, if the surface of the edge of the knife is thick, means we can't cut the apple easily. We should give more pressure to cut the apple. If the edge of the knife is very thin, okay, it is very sharp, means that is the area of the knife is less. Okay, the area of the knife is less. Okay, so area is decreases. Area of the knife is very sharp. The area is very less, means pressure is increases. It moves very easily. Okay, it moves very easily. But area increases. The knife, it should be very thick, means we want to give force, and forces, pressure is decreases. We can't press it. We can't press it. Okay, we want to give more pressure. This pressure is decreases. We are giving more pressure, but the pressure is less. Understood the concept now? See here, area decreases. The knife, area of the knife, the sharp edge. So here we can say the area is less. Pressure is increases. We are putting like this. Okay, so it moves easily on the apple, inside the apple. So we can cut easily. Pressure is increases. The area increases. The edge of the knife is more. Okay, so the pressure is decreases. We can't cut easily. Okay, so this is for one example, and I can give you one more example. Okay, so that is we are taking a nail. Okay, so the nail we are putting inside the wooden board. Okay, to make a wooden table or anything we are using nails, or we are putting the nail on the wall also. Okay, for hanging the photos and all. So there the edge of the nail is very less, means the pressure is increases. It moves inside the wall or wooden board easily. The pressure is increases. Okay, the area increases. The nail of the edge of the nail is thick, means we can't do our work easily. The pressure is decreases. Understood? So you can take another more examples also. Okay, so we have so many examples for this. I'll give you very easy example for understood this concept. Okay, children? Okay, then we see that is pressure exerted on the liquid and gases. Okay, here we saw that is solid examples. Okay, solid examples we saw here for pressure. So pressure exerted on liquids and gases also. Is it right? Okay, let us see. So pressure exerted on liquid and gases. Liquid and gases. Okay. See here in liquids. Okay. First let us see a liquid. Okay. So we are taking any container. Okay. In that container we are taking water. Okay. Water or any other liquid we are taking in the container. Okay. So we are taking like this jar. Okay. So in this jar we are taking a water. Okay. If we have a small hole in this jar, if we have a small hole in this jar, okay. So here the pore, into this pore, the water is dropping fastly. Okay. So now we have a pore here. If here it is not a pore, okay. So here we have a hole, little hole. Okay. The water is also here. Also water is dropping. Okay. Here it is a hole, means the water is dropping more like this, very fast. So liquid also exerted pressure. Okay, liquid also exerted pressure. So for that pressure only it leaks very heavily. Okay, here the pressure is very less because here for this we can understood liquids also having a pressure. Liquids also having a pressure. Okay. So here water is exerted and it comes out of the jar through the holes. Okay. And as I said, we are taking a jar to fill the gases. Okay. So like this, we are taking the jar. Here we are filling the gas here, and we should close it. Okay. So here we have a hole. Okay. So here we are tying one balloon like this. Okay. So here we are filling the gas means it exerts through this hole and the balloon should be coming bigger. Okay. So here gas is also exerts pressure. Gas is also exerts pressure. So while these two experiments we can say gases, liquids and gases exerted pressure. Okay. So it exerts on the walls of the container. While if here it is a hole means it should be exerts outside and the balloon should be coming bigger. Okay. So from these two experiments we can say pressure exerted on liquids and gases also. Okay. So then we should see one more topic. So we know that is liquids are having pressure. Okay. Liquids and gases are exerted on the container of the walls of the container. Then we can see atmospheric pressure. We are also having the atmospheric pressure. In atmosphere, what is there in atmosphere? So many gases are there in the atmosphere. So that gases are having pressure. Okay, how to observe that pressure? Atmospheric pressure. While we are riding a bike or a car, so the opposite force of the air, it exerts the pressure. Okay, it pulls backwards. We are giving accelerator. We are moving forward. Okay, we are moving forward. The gases on the atmosphere, it pushes back to our riding. Okay, so that is from that we come to know atmospheric pressure. Okay, atmospheric pressure of gases. Okay, children. Okay, from this we know what is a pressure, how to know the pressure. Okay, so here in this class we saw what is a pressure. See, the force acting per unit area on the surface of the object is called pressure. Okay, so now we saw that is pressure exerted on liquids and gases and atmospheric pressure also.